you. And happy Halloween weekend to all of you who celebrate it and however you observe it. This has been a really amazing uh, forever a few weeks. We've been having, particularly during this corridor experience that we're just on the other side of, where the lunar eclipse occurred yesterday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, local time for me. I don't know about y'all during that time. I actually forgot. I knew that there was the eclipse day, but I wasn't paying attention to the time. Some amazing Shazam was going down in this life. Oh my goodness. And it was just so beautiful. And it became the day of unburdening. It was so great. A lot of people, though, have had some struggles, some real intense, stuff coming up during this window of time, during this eclipse that occurred, the corridor and all this. There's a lot that was going on for people. And so if you're on the other side of that, you're not doing anything wrong. There's a lot of people that are having that experience too. So, and it's a time that brings things up for some people, that what needs to be healed is just made more apparent. I know that happened with me. The ability to be able to see what it is that they're guiding us to sometimes helps. I'm just going to say hi to everybody here. Thank you all for joining. Fleur de Lis. Hi, Pamela. Hi, everyone. So good to see you always. Eric. Hi, Eric. This is my fave meeting every week. Hello. Oh, thanks, Eric. It's always so good to see you. Vanya. Here we go. Hi, soul family. This week was rough and tough. Lots of vertigo and head pressure, joint pain and exhaustion. What's going on? What's going on yet again? Love to Pamela and all you guys. That's a really good comment, Vanya. Thank you. I'm gonna actually let's talk about this for a moment. Yes, we have been having a lot happening. In fact, it's kind of a joke that the show that I'm doing, I do on Soulology every Sunday. After this one, an hour after this gets over, I start that over on the soulologynetwork.com platform. And this week, I'm being joined by the same beautiful women, likely Elsa, maybe too, and Stacy. And who knows, maybe something will happen. Todd will be there too, and it'll be a deja vu kind of episode. Anyway, I'm bringing this up because when I was introducing this, I realized that I was saying new energy, new this, new that. And then it was like, oh, yeah, they're all the same people, but it's new people because so many of us have changed so dramatically over the course of the past, few days, 24 hours. Then you go back 3 days, then you go back 7 days. Think about, last month. Who were you last month? And then think about who you are today. It does feel rough and really tough. And this vertigo and the head pressure, I found relief from the head pressure. Hit me really awesome. And it started to subside for me. I can say a lot of people are still having this experience. We also noticed there was like this thing was like a tiara concept. Well, I have a lot of freckles right now. That's crazy. Interesting how that happens. Anyway, it's like it was 7.77 Celsius at 9 o'clock this morning. The rapid temperature drop. This is supposed to be January temperature for the tree state. So anyway, the headache that goes like this area here, a lot of people are talking about this. There's also the band one. So this band, like it's like a headband, like in the 80s. Remember that? And the whole it's like that concept, but often it's had on one side or the other. It's not always consistently, evenly distributed. I found that I believe it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday when this was happening for me. I noticed there was like this lopsidedness to it. And someone else had mentioned in that conversation, they were having the same thing. It was Todd. And it was this way. And so this actually helped me. I realized, oh yeah, it's supposed to be balanced. Let's balance this bad boy out. And that did help. Anyway, lots of vertigo kind of stuff. I've also heard a lot of reports of people saying that vertigo is associated too with their experience. Often it's paired with suddenly realizing that they're much, much taller. I've had this experience quite often lately. There's usually some kind of a download or like, whoa, this energy is awesome. And you just feel like, whoa. And then all of a sudden there's this some type of a spinal and neck alignment kind of pop thing that's happening. Sometimes it's not very pleasant going into it. And then there's this height. Suddenly there's this height. And what's really interesting, this is like a little side note, this is Pamela E's going on in the brain here, is I've always wondered, why are our bodies not designed for the density of this gravity? That's always been something since I was very young, like just watching people with these back issues all over the place and just being like, well, why is that? And we must be from someplace else, kind of hypothesis as a child, and those types of things. However, I kind of wonder it's because we're designed for the density that we're going to, the frequency that we're basically in. And so as we go up in this frequency, perhaps we our backs go back to the way they're supposed to be, and then we're just as tall we're supposed to be. I don't know. Hi, Viv. Good to see you. And Jackie's here too. Hi, Jackie. We have Spirit. I'm sorry. Spirit made me do it. I love your name. Hi, all. Okay. We have Wave Dreamer. My body was purging hard yesterday. Got sick out of nowhere suddenly, but feeling better today. I'm really glad you're feeling better today. Yeah. A lot of people had this experience. I know a lot of purging was going on for many of us. Like a lot of just staying close to home, kind of purging, as well as emotional purging, saying goodbye to old self. I've also noticed a lot of reports about this, surprised by the grief and mourning sensation that they're experiencing, not knowing why, because they're finally here. Finally here, and then they're feeling kind of some way about it, and they don't know why. And you know what? Even if, I'm gonna take that off for a second while I'm saying this, even if you are in an experience that it was unpleasant in every way, you were still there for a very long time. That was what you called home for, however long that you did. And so, leaving this dilapidated house behind, as we'll use this as an example, and you're moving into a much more in alignment place, a place that you don't fall through the floor and stuff. You still spent time there. You still made memories there, that kind of a thing. And so it's okay to feel a little bit of mourning. There's nothing wrong with it. And usually, as soon as you let yourself feel something, you can be liberated from it. And so emotions aren't meant to be contained in your body. That's what causes all of these other disharmonious body things when you keep it in your body, whatever it is. It's not supposed to be kept here. That's why we share our joy. That's why we share our tears. That's why we share it. We get it out. It's supposed to go through. We are a subway station. We're not the destination for these emotions. So Infrared Riding Hood. Hey there, it's gone batshit crazy, right? Internet's barely working. I've never felt the world like this. Lots of purging. Yeah. So a lot of tech stuff going down, which is kind of a thing because you know what? I'm that person that's really not tech savvy already. And then it just stops doing what is already hard for me to make it do. Yeah. Yeah, the pulling back and forth of emotion. Hey, it's 33 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. That the pulling of emotion at noon. I'm sorry, I got to point this out. It's 33 degrees. This is below freezing, or this is when you can get snow kind of temperature. This is January temperatures. It's crazy. So yeah, so being pulled in two different directions emotionally, because what we're doing is we're liberating ourselves from it. So let me give you a little tip if you want. This is something that I was guided to do, and it really, really helped, is even if we've already been letting ourselves feel an emotion and letting it move through us, often, not always, we haven't done a complete job. It's not been entirely thorough in that what it needs for it to completely move out. So I found that it was needed to lay on my back rather than sitting in a lotus position or whatever you feel like. I tend to meditate sitting up, but this was to lay down, and then kind of letting gravity, the idea of gravity, what gravity is, work in my favor. Then you don't have to fight with so much of what suspend reality, suspend what you believe is a limitation kind of stuff. Allow gravity to move the sadness through your body all the way through, and then dig back. Dig, as this is up your back and this is the top of you, dig down these roots. Let the sadness, let the anger. I found loneliness popping up, sadness, anger, even something I could have identified as depression. I mean, these were momentary because I was letting them move through me. So they dug, they were digging into the ground, right? And then my own energy started to dig in the ground too. And if I found his 1212, I found that the guy I was scrubbing off, the residue of the energy left on mine as I did this. And through this process, rather than feeling off balance or something as a result of these emotions that most of us have been conditioned or learned to evade, um, it became quite euphoric and enjoyable. And like, I was like, hey, let's have some more sadness come in. That was a cool experience, kind of stuff. So perhaps consider trying something like this. Um, I was guided when it was happening. It felt melancholy, is what it when it first felt, and then I felt incredible sadness and loneliness, which I don't have. That's why it was such a big deal. I don't. Like there's energies. There's I becoming alone is kind of a joke, and anyway, um, so then I was guided to do this, and when I did this, then I was able to find release and balance. So anyway, I said that already. I don't know why. Anyway, it's a big deal. If you want to try this, many of us are having this experience. On the other side of this, what we're doing is we're leaving behind the things that don't serve us. That's all. It's having to do with toxins in your body. So that's why we're getting this weird, a lot of people are talking about it, and I'm included in this again, this weird acne-like sensation or symptom in your body. High wave dreamer, love and light to everyone here. Um, this kind of stuff, at different areas of the body. A lot of people are reporting lower body area kind of outbreak. I'm noticing a lot of stuff like around the face and ears and neck. Anyway, it's not quite acne. It's just what we're calling it. They could be called something else. Kay, hello from Texas. Whole body hurt, stomach issues. Anyone else? Stomach is a big deal. So this lower three chakras is a very common experience right now, particularly stomach. Yeah, I'm finding it too. And if you experience and notice your body, you'll find that. So there's the stomach. The stomach is actually quite small. The stomach is about the size of your fist when it's in its natural size state. And so you'll find that above it and below it, there's like this, in and out kind of place, the exit and enter place of the food. And it's these places. It's the exit and enter. So if you go in energetically, that's where you see like the orange and stuff. And so, I mean, an orange not being any kind of thing, just light, but it's showing you something. This is happening to with a lot of people right now. And I feel like this has a lot to do with the relief, the relinquishing, and removing our investments in fear, the yellow belly, kind of stuff. That's what it kind of feels like. A lot of us are releasing these fear paradigms, these fear condition, these fear stories that were fed to us in order to keep us whatever. And for Red Riding Hood, I'm also Craig. Oh, hi. This is also Craig Plays Games. I've seen nearly all these lives, although it's barely working now. It's gone off again. Interesting. Well, if any of you are having difficulty hearing me, I apologize. I know that my end's also going back and forth. Hello, Tor. Says hello to everyone. Stacy, hello, welcome. Hello, my whole body hurts, but only the left side still. Had a giant cold sore, now a sty. Feel totally out of it. Okay, so this whole body hurts thing again. I did notice this was a symptom of this, what I talked about, that emotional, that thing that was coming up all of a sudden, the sadness. So that's what I was trying to tell you before, and I looped instead, is that then I felt this loneliness come in, and then I was guided by spirit and my guides and the energies who were coming in at that time to assist me. There was quite a few of them present, and I'm sure that this is true for all of you. You just, whether or not you can see this, was being guided to completely sever like in a very what's felt permanent way. All cords, all relations, which is contrary to what you would think you'd want to do when you're feeling lonely. Um, However, once I had done this, yeah, loneliness came back in even harder. But then I was able to reset. And I found this physical sensation that you're talking about subsided almost immediately, where the whole body, I noticed it especially on my right side, like at one point, not just recently, I had my all of my guts, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just this, you would wanna identify, an organ, but it was really all of the organs that are from the center all the way to the right side, all went into a intense Charlie horse for, like, what felt like 7 days, you know? It was probably, like, 20 minutes, but, oh my, the intense. There was no moving, there was no going anywhere. After that happened, I did notice that this spinal alignment occurred immediately after. The cold sore, I don't anybody else know about this I know that we're having these weird things some people might call a cold sore. Like, when I'm trying to talk about, like, acne-like symptoms, um, sometimes it looks like blisters, but you've not got any reason to explain the blisters there. Remember, we're releasing, purging, guiding out, unburdening self of all these toxins that we've collected through our lifetime, that our grandmother was collecting. Because remember, the egg that became you was complete and whole in your mother when she was in her mother. So the toxins that went through the family is also being, guided through. And toxins don't have to be poison. They can simply be something that's no longer in harmony with your body that may have been in harmony with your body last week, even, you know. Tommy, hi, Tommy. All sorts of issues, nausea, sinus issues. Yeah, I've been getting that draining thing still. Oh my goodness, it's so annoying. Fatigue feels like the flu. Sick for 2 days, then felt real good year. Yeah, I do know that. So okay, so the purging of the sinuses, a lot of us are having this. This is very fascinating because when we are having this happen, first of all, we're purging, and this stuff's coming out of us. We're noticing there's a lot of stuff like this that we'll wake up, some of us, and almost like it's almost like morning sickness of coughing out large amounts of this and getting it out of our body. Where's it coming from? Well, again, we've got a lot of stuff that's moving through us as we raise our frequency, and it's not in harmony with that frequency. It needs to go, right? The other thing is that when we cough, we activate at least, probably more than this, our brow chakra, our third eye. We activate our throat chakra, our high heart, and our heart chakra. All of these areas, and you're engaged in each cough at least. You know what, though? If you think about it, full on, when you're coughing, it goes all the way down, right? So it's just fascinating. So it's activating, it's doing something. And specifically with the heart, it feels almost like it's like, those pull choke things that, like a lawnmower has. You're just like, "Rrr, rrr," and to get it started. Kind of like that, it feels like to me. Nausea. With that, I feel like that for me, that's associated directly with this stuff, this sinus draining that's going on. Excuse me. Infrared Riding Hood, definitely like butterfly coming out of the cocoon. Yep. Yeah, dude. Talk about born again. We got a lot of stuff happening right now. The earring coming back in really strong again. It hasn't stopped, but it's shifted. There's a change that's occurred. There's some other new thing about this. I don't really know. I haven't read into it fully. It's got to do with something to do with keys. Brady, hello. Going through some rough energies, bad headaches, vertigo, nausea, joint pain, inflammation, and intense sadness. Wow, it's hitting me hard. All right, so this is consistent with what everyone else has been experiencing too, and we've already talked to some people that have been going through this. So I mean, at the very least, that's reassuring. For the longest time, I was like having weird stuff happen in my body, and I wasn't sure. I was always checking myself. I'm like, am I really? Is this really something? Because I'm being guided. You're good. You don't have to go. And occasionally I still go check the doctor and, to relieve any kind of fear or suspicion. And we're good, and so And then now we have people that are talking about it. So with a lot of this, again, remember, we're purging our yesterdays, and we are relinquishing our investment of control or anything about our tomorrows. And when we're doing that, there's a lot of things that need to say goodbye. The joint stuff, I'm finding a lot of people are having it some type of relief from it when they talk about using Epsom salt baths, or even more impactful or long-lasting way is walking around on the soil barefoot. If they don't have soil that they can access because it's so cold and it's just frozen and they don't feel like it or whatever, bring some in the house, let it thaw, let it dry or warm up, and then just set your feet on top of it, play with it. And my kiddo and I, we just play in it. Like, she likes it. She really, I mean, she's a kid. Give her a couple of like little farm tools and she's there for the rest of the day if you let her. And there's so much that happens. You go through the ionization process, because remember, all the stuff that's happening, your body is taking on a lot more positively charged ions. And this is something that you can look up in a scientific way as well, that it's a thing. You don't want it to be positive. You want the negative ones, the negatively charged ions. And so the most natural way to ionize is to place your soles, your bare feet on the soil. There's a reason that the pores on your feet and on the soles on your hands are the largest in your body. Is that's where this happens. This delivery system of give and take happens when we set our feet on the soil. Gaia, she takes all of our negatively charged ions from us, and it feels and looks and sounds like static kind of stuff, and it goes away. She takes it and transmutes it and does what she does, and then she also sends up these minerals and stuff that are missing in our day-to-day diet through the soil. Our body takes it in. You can also use this as a delivery system for many herbal remedies. So Mia, hi. She says, hi, Pamela and everyone. Hand pink waving. Not sure what that one is, but I just read it anyway. Lynn's, hello. Hi, Pamela. Lovely to see you. What's the cause reason for weird dreams? I act out of character in some of the dreams, and I can't get my head around why. Dreams are so cool. They're so fascinating. There's a lot that we can go into with dreams, though, in the most briefest way possible. We're being guided to see and understand information in the most palatable way possible, though often it's literal and other times it's explaining something to you. So dreams look a lot like what it is to communicate with spirit. This is what it looks like for me anyway. When I'm communicating with spirit, when I'm able to remove my logic completely from it, I also don't remember what's been said, which is kind of a fun side thing. It's all good. It's kind of entertaining to me. There'll be a variety of images, sensations, like a sense. You'll smell things, you'll feel things, physical touch, feel, as well as emotional. And then there's understandings that you just kind of, it's like osmosis, like learning, where you just kind of like, ooh, I just know this thing, I understand this thing. And so then a variety of images throughout my life and have kind of turned into a collage of understanding, and they come in an order that they're meant to be. And then I'll just speak through it. So then they also will guide some of the words, if not many of them. And so this is what a dream looks like, right? You have sense, you smell things, you feel things. The fun story is, the person who wants to tell about the nightmare that they had, and then as soon as they start to tell it, they realize it didn't sound as scary at all as it felt, and they can't convey it because most of it is not logic through the word, and so it can't be understood fully in this way. So consider what these things mean. What do they mean to you specifically also? Because I do know that there's some really awesome dream dictionaries and stuff out there. However, they're not meant for case by case basis. So I have gotten way behind on y'all. I'm coming. Oh, Carmen's here. Oh, hey, Carmen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, Pamela. Hi, fam. You're such a sweetie. 2222. Thank you. Stacy's here. Hi. How's it going? Love to you all, soul family. She also says, I've had that. Feel taller. Yeah, the taller thing is crazy. It's crazy. And really, truly, everything around you looks taller too. And it's kind of funny to walk up to the sink and it's like, whoa, it's like way down there. It's a really thing. Oh, hey, yeah. Oh, before, so Stacy's going to be on our show, on the show on soulogynetwork.com in an hour and a half, just so y'all know if you want to head on over there and hear us chat about code later. Kay says rapid heart rate. Heart palpitations is one of the probably top 7, I don't know, commonly reported ascension symptoms right now. I'm disappearing. And this is really often commonly associated with upgrades, with balancing, with healing. A lot of times you'll notice along with this rapid heart rate that there'll be some type of like change or shift in your body. Usually like an area of your body will become cooler or hotter depending on whatever kind of realignment or healing or thing that's going on there. Often, though, I find that this heart rate, this heart palpitation thing will occur just as so that these energies are kind of coming in. Remember, our bodies have become familiar, used to being in a frequency that, you know, is like putting a genius in, you know, I don't know. I can't think it. I don't like that classification style. Somebody who knows what to do, going back to the beginning of training something, right? And so we're here and we're operating way under bar, and then all of a sudden here come these new energies, these not new energies, perhaps they're most often they're our friends and people that are in our family in this way. When their energy comes in, our body often will shake too. I find this to happen with me. My body will start to shake as if I'm cold, like the shiver kind of feeling. And so this is also, I would say this is one of the most common reasons why we're having the heart palpitations, at least in my experience. And Stacy says hi to Carmen. Okay, blessed by the best. I feel so much relief now that the eclipse has passed. Good. Me too. Like, I mean, full on. And I had a mess. Oh my goodness. What an activation and a thing. Man, I could go on about what happened yesterday forever and then I'd miss all your comments. But wow. Nadia. Oh wait, I think it's Nadine. Out of nowhere, my eyes also started hurting. Okay, the eye thing, there's a lot of eye activation happening right now. Okay, so what's most common is people will notice in this this region here, you know, like your ocular region, you'll notice that there's like a headache around this area a little bit, and also the blurring of vision, or it feels like a lot of people are thinking that they need to go and see their eye doctor and upgrade their corrective lenses. And things like this. I've had this happen a couple of times, and I just recently had it too. A lot of times there's like a sloughing off, so there's like some weird residue coming off your eyeballs too. It's kind of gross. It's not diagnosable or anything. It's just a thing. Then all of a sudden, you start to see things that you didn't see before, like, excuse me, like physically in a lot of ways. And the reason is, it's fun. It's just kind of fun. So let's say something's operating at this frequency and we're operating here, which is a really great frequency. However, we can't perceive this as up here until we get to a certain level. We have to be within the range of sight. And this is like slowly coming into view, solid, precise, right? And so we raise our frequency, not like this typically. Sometimes we catapult up and then we, you know, have our thing, but usually it's more like this. And so that's why we feel so many dips. And also while we're doing this, we're like, well, there's something there. No, it's not. And then you start to think perhaps there's something wrong with your sight. This isn't always the case. This is something that's really common right now. So just keeping that in mind. And that's an awesome activation. I started to get to see some stuff and that I didn't see before. And then it was really great to have people around me that also could see it, by the way. Sarah says, right, I needed to get out and I've literally been driving all day. Like to think I'm doing grid work. Yeah. I think that a lot of us don't even realize it. I just was introduced with the topic that I didn't even know was a thing. I asked a question, and it turns out that some of us are people grid workers, and so that's why so many people find themselves um, moving frequently throughout life. I just dropped to the bottom, so we're just going to go here. I don't even know. There's conversation happening down here. Jackie, my heart palpitations have been crazy. I can't exert myself at all. Really dizzy, lightheaded. This is consistent with a lot of the experiences people are having. I do know that this, and it was a strong guidance. It wasn't a, you need to do this. It was a strong guidance of just chill the F out, let yourself relax, take a release the shame of taking care of yourself and make it happen. Make it happen. Take care of yourself, and I know you are, Jackie, but this is something that it's something that many of us have struggled with historically, where we just feel shame or guilt, like we're doing something wrong if you're taking a nap or if you're not going on full steam. And you know what? You can't feed from an empty cup. Be gentle with yourself and let yourself relax. I feel like some of these things, like what happens sometimes, it doesn't happen so frequently, but a few years ago when I wasn't paying as much attention, I would get headache near to my eye, kind of, that would be relieved immediately upon closing my eyes. And this was certain energies that were coming in and wanting me to close my eyes so I can get downloads. Because for me, when I'm engaged, at that time anyway, it was difficult to receive these downloads, and I would just be like batting flies kind of a thing instead. And so I'm telling you this because not always are symptoms saying there's something out of alignment with our bodies. It's also sometimes calling us to rest. Like, and you'll also see this in the awakening journey. A lot of people will, have tragedy or get in accidents or get hurt more and more and more, bigger and bigger accidents until they finally say, I can't go to work now. Now I have to sit for, a week, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they're better because they took the time that was required, that was being asked of them. So it's an example. Thank you for sharing that. This is a really consistent, a lot of people are having. Trina, hi, felt like low mid back cracked like 3 times in the last few days. This is super duper common. This is exactly what I was talking about, this back alignment thing, neck. I've noticed I've been like popping my neck a lot more too. And it's just taller. You're just like, wow, dude, I'm like a giant out here. Let's see. So there's everybody saying hi to each other. I love this. You guys are so beautiful. What a family to be a part of. I just adore all of you so much. What beautiful energy. This tea. Oh, yes, agree. Teeth are so sensitive and teeth grinding. Yeah. Hey, thanks for saying that. I missed that. I jumped like a whole bunch of comments. I'm going to try to go back up. Yeah, I've been noticing that. Like, I actually thought that what for me, I'm having this jaw thing. I kind of started to wonder if it's because all of a sudden I haven't really had an appetite. What I mean by all of a sudden is just like, I don't know. And I'll go back and think, when was the last time I've eaten? Because I typically don't eat until evening meal. I don't like breakfast. That's my body. However, then I'll look back and realize, wow, I've skipped a lot of evening meals. And so I thought it was because I hadn't been using my chewing, exercises. But that's really interesting. I'm noticing, and so I'm wondering if that has to do with this, what you're talking about. Fascinating. Also, too, I've noticed as a result, like it seemed like, like grinding, or like my jaw just didn't want to open as much as it had normally been doing. Very bizarre. Fascinating. Thank you for sharing. Path 88. Appreciating isolation. I can do bobblehead in peace. So much energy. So much energy. Yes. It's so beautiful right now, too. Oh, my goodness. Like, I mean, I've truly never maintained existing in the moment as consistently from moment to moment to moment to moment as I have lately. And it's not a pat on the back for me. It's like, wow, we get to be here now. Cool. Because, the moments that we're in, it's weird because, like, I can point out this moment and I can point out this moment. But do you see how many moments went away when I was trying to say, and I can point at before I got to point at it? Like, there's a whole bunch of them, and so rather than considering yesterday's or tomorrow's, anyway, you guys know that. But I found some new understanding about it just lately that I don't know how to convey. My moon is in Taurus, says Tess. That's why I'm struggling so bad. I understand. There's a lot of alignments and things that are happening right now. There's a lot. I just found out. I didn't, of course, but I just found out there's another there's another eclipse corridor for the April So there's a big eclipse that I've been knowing about, and then we're going to be needing to be, doing stuff for it at that specific time forever. April 8th, 2024. Back when it first started coming in, I didn't know there was going to be an eclipse, but I found out later on. Anyway, turns out that on the 24th, 25th, of April that year, there's also a lunar eclipse. So there's another corridor coming up. So what I'm saying is we're getting some training here for this one. I feel like everything's a step, octave. Everything's an octave in the universe, in spirit, and it's all melodic, and it's all about going from here to here, to up these steps, to step up, right? And sometimes we'll skip a step, and that's cool. Often, however, I have found for myself that when I've skipped a step, I've done it a few times, and I'll find out that I got to go back. And going back kind of sucks, because then you're like, the adult in kindergarten, kind of feeling, and so allow yourself the time that you need to do this. There's no race. You're on the ascension with us. Like, there's no, you're good. Let yourself do you, and take whatever time is required for it. Genevieve, I see you here. Hello, Tess. Oh, I'm sorry, you were talking privately. I apologize. Okay, here's one from Genevieve that's not. Wow. Okay, she's doing it again. I'm so sorry. I know it's out there for people to watch, but I just feel okay. There's a lot of real awesome community happening here. I love how you all are connecting. Aqua Earth, hello. Good to see Aqua Earth and Fire. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you. There's some other kind of things that I wanted to talk about having to do with this equilibrium thing. A lot of us are noticing. So when we talked about before, I should remember that. We talked about before how we had that band. And then I was saying I noticed this lopsided thing happening, and that we needed to correct this band. This band is something that I've been kind of tuning into, and some other people I've talked to have tuned into. And it's really fascinating because, does it really have significance? Do we need to know? Like, if we know the cause of something, does it make it better? Sometimes. I do know that from people, they have the experience that this is almost like you're remotely somehow connected to a higher self, right? And in that higher self, there's a higher self getting there's a delivery of some type of healing and alignment that's meant to come to you through this vessel. And so it's kind of a thing. This is causing exactly what Tess just says. I think I clicked the right one. Been feeling off balance. Me too. It's kind of funny. Like, you walk next to people all the time. Like, you got a kiddo. I haven't walked alone in 9 years. That's a long time to not walk alone. And anyway, I love walking with her though. But I have noticed that both of us are bumping into each other a lot more. That's never been a thing, unless there's some kind of crazy way that she's supposed to be walking around a certain pattern on the ground. But anyway, yeah. And then also finding the need to overcorrect. It almost feels like, you're drunk, a little bit, like that stability. And so I wonder if it has something to do with this. So that's what I was going to say. And that's why I brought this up, is so I understood it this way, but it could be in any direction for any of you. It could be forward, back, whatever. There's this something happening here. What is this? This is like a halo. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they meant when they started talking about halos back then and started painting about them and stuff. I do know that we have a big, giant, bright light that shines out of the back of your head, the top of your head right here, that looks like someone just opened up a window on a sunny day and the sun is shining in the middle of the night. However, there's something else here. There's something here, right? Okay? Whatever. This thing needs to be balanced. When we balanced it, then all of a sudden I wasn't off balance anymore. All of a sudden I had my equilibrium again. And I was able to I don't know. I'm doing a lot of rambling, I feel like. I'm just so happy and just so happy to be here today. It's such an amazing time to be in. I'm so honored to be with all of you in this. Eddie, I think the halo is just a chakra. Yeah, probably. That makes a lot of sense. In fact, I most often perceive when we're doing this energetic work, chakras, and I help guide them into becoming more of like looks kind of like the Milky Way, a disc that spirals, and then you spiral it the other way, like the spin that Elsa talks about, right? And when we spin it the other way, that's not always the spin that it needs to be in. We spin it to let the stuff that's kind of like, trapped in the wash kind of thing. It's the agitation cycle to get the stuff to come up, and the spin it the other way. And so it's pretty useful to know that. So yeah, that's a really good thing. Thank you. And to find balance, to find some kind of harmony in that. We have Jeanette. Hey, Pamela in chat. Welcome. Good to see you. Flirtily, I just love you. November. Let's grab Tess. What'd you say here? November. There you go. November is supposed to be better. I pray it is. Yes. Okay, let's talk about November for a moment. Just, so we're still, okay, we're already in a time of the thinning of the veil. It's already happening. We know about it. It's been happening for a while. And now I'm like getting really choppy. I hope that you guys can still hear me pretty well. Anyway, then on the 15th of October, just recently, we went to a place where it's an annual thinning of the veil that goes until they say about November 10th. That's the day before the 11/11 eclipse, or sorry, now everything's an eclipse, right? That's the day before the 11/11 portal, which for me, that's always been a very significant day. I remember planning ahead for 11:11 a.m. and p.m. on 11/11/11. Like I planned way ahead. Like anyway, so there's stuff going on with that, but I feel like that I've always gotten the understanding that November, the bulk of November, is going to be like the Christmas part. It's freaking Christmas, people. Is kind of what I'm getting, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Vicky, is anyone else having the puffy eyes and eyes burning? So we were talking about some eye related stuff earlier. There's been a lot of people talking about it. I've also been noticing a lot of people maybe not even realizing what they're commenting on. Just all of a sudden, this is the moment that those who do have prescription lenses all of a sudden feel like that they're something's wrong with their glasses or something like that. However, this I have seen and noticed. Like I was having on this side, it wasn't that strong for me. What I have found is the use of castor oil on pretty much anything. It's not supposed to go in your eyeballs, I don't think, just so you know. But like you can do it in the region and just let it, people talk about these pads or patches or vessels that hold it so you can stick it to your body and still run around the world and do what you want to do. Can't remember they're called patches. Anyway, this type of stuff does help a lot of these things. It's crazy. It's like ultra purge time, and has caused some relief for me. So if anyone else has any comments to bring to agree with or to have anything that Kylie, crazy hot flashes, waves of sweat and heat. Yeah, this has been really weird for me because it's literally the Arctic right now up here. Like it is so cold. You know how it's so cold right now that you can get a balloon and put a couple drops of color or food coloring in it, fill it up with water, tie it overnight. It's an orb of colorful ice. It's crazy. However, I'm still getting these hot flashes that you're talking about. 111 people here right now. That's pretty cool. I'm getting these hot flashes and cold flashes. It's just going back and forth. I'm noticing we're also having the sweat purge from a lot of people, and so I kind of wonder if that has something to do with it. Let's see. Ashton, what about... Did I not click on you? Where'd it go? I did something wrong. Technology. Okay. Ashton, what about nerve-like sensation? Yeah, okay. Let's talk about... Good job. Thank you for bringing this. Good job. Sorry. Talk about what about nerve-like sensation all on inside of the head? Different than just tingling, had 2 CT scans and brain MRI, all normal. Okay, this is actually super duper common, Ashton. So I'm really happy you brought this up. So this, some of us have explained it's yes, it's like a nerve. That's the best way I've described it as well. Some people have used words like it feels like a chemical burn or some type of a burn inside as well as on the skin. I have found that when we take our time to meditate into this place and direct this, watch the energy, you'll notice that there's a lot of light being collected in the brain area of our body when it needs to be distributed throughout our body. And so it does assist and relieve if you go into this meditation state or space and visualize all of the light like it's like a busy traffic, bottleneck, and letting it guide down and down and down and down through all of your chakral areas and all through your extremities and digits and stuff. You'll find that it'll start to have some relief. There's a lot coming in for us right now, and it's all meant as gifts. And what happens if you don't open your door and the delivery man's been coming with packages for a while, right? And so address one thing at a time. Often when we have this healing that I'm talking about, guiding the light, there is an emotional connection to each of those lights. And so sometimes there's a healing that will occur. So you'll notice an emotional response occur. You'll find something come up. Release it, allow it to be felt. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to have the answer why it's like that, just that it is. And it's time for it to be felt so it can go. Samantha says that she also has felt this, it seems like. Ashton, heavy brain, tingling, pressure, dizzyish, and blurred vision. It's hard to put into words. This is consistent with a lot of people what I've been talking today too. Everyone has different words, and also everyone's experience is slightly different, I would say. I think that's why for so long it's been a hard time. It's been hard for us to have these kind of conversations at first, is that we were comparing too closely, and we all are on this journey. We're all on this journey, and I don't have any of my normal toys that I usually use to show an example. However, we can use a pen. We're all on this journey. However, hey, this one's gray and stuff's disappearing. Is someone who's here is the same pen as someone who's here and who's here, right? And let's say that this is the marker. This part of my ear is the marker. This person maybe already experienced this, and this person is just experiencing it, right? However, we're still on the same journey, and so this is just trying to show that when we try to measure up, it causes more conflict than it needs. But yeah, a lot of people are having very similar experiences. Thank you for sharing that. Barbie, Pamela, what you call rambling is information for me. Oh, thank you. We need to hear it all. So glad to be with you all. Love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hear that a lot. That's my human. I'm working through it. We all have things to heal, and self-diminishing statements and disempowering statements is probably one of the most common things that we're breaking right now. This is just a time for that. And so you're right, and all the things that come out are supposed to, for everybody. Thank you for saying this, Vegan Vixen. Hit the like for me if you want to. I can't meditate. Someone said this is something a lot of people are having. Aqua, earth, and fire. I can't meditate. Yeah. So this is an introduction for you to try different means of meditation. We don't have to be still. We don't even have to be silent to meditate. I find that when I've become engaged in something just enough that it's even a deeper meditation sometimes. Things like I've always been an avid artist. I love to sketch, to draw, to sculpt, and do these types of things, to write. And so I find that doing those types of things, gardening, cleaning even, I go into a meditative state. And another thing that's useful to know, I don't know about you guys, but I had this rule that I thought was a rule, that I had to stay still during meditation. And I find often that my body wants to like spin, like this, like around. I can't even make my finger do like just kind of like, this is what my body wants to do. And then it'll go the other way and it'll shift and move. And that's okay. It's okay to move. It's okay to move. Let yourself move. In dance, that's a meditation state too. It's a deeper level. So, I mean, there's just a lot of different things you can try. It's okay to lay down and meditate. This is very fascinating. This brain thing, Path 88, I've been having brain fluttering. This is really cool. Everyone's having some type of experience with their brain, it seems like, in this area of their body. I remember when it first started to come in, I was feeling like I didn't have any gravity in my brain. Is the best way I'm able to really, it's the same words I used the first time I tried to describe it. I haven't come up with a better way of explaining it, but yes, it's very much like that. It, to me, feels like a release. Things are going out that just kind of been like in the way. We didn't even realize it. Ashton, they want to put me in a crazy house because I swear I've been dying. Yep, I know what you feel like, buddy. I've been having this like forever, and you've come to the right place. You found welcome home. Welcome home. A lot of us have been having this. Like they actually marked me. I don't typically ever, like really, literally ever. It's been years since I filled a prescription like the doctors give you. Because usually they're like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with you. Try this, kind of stuff. And anyway, they still have marked me as a drug seeker, even though I don't even fill their prescriptions. Because for a while there, I was like, okay, dude, like this is going on. Okay, dude, this is really happening. Hypochondriac words, stuff like that. It's really common for all of us. So, I can say that a lot of these things that I was really, really worried about and thought that they were going to be some type of bigger thing ended up being that things I'm not experiencing anymore at all. And also that many others have, and there's something going on here that we're not being given all the information regarding our bodies, our health, and our wellness. In this way, in the Western medical system way. And so it hasn't even been 100 years, guys, since the holistic natural doctors that were all over the world were chased out of town on a pole, called quacks. If you weren't administering synthetic medicines, then there was something wrong with you. That's only just recently happened. And also that's what's recently happened is that they've stopped teaching to remove your body of its parasites. This was a monthly or bi-yearly or twice a year kind of, depending on the different cultures and stuff, practice that everyone talked about, saying goodbye to your parasites. We all get parasites. And a parasite is somebody in team body, right? However, these parasites, these team body members, don't always get along with others once they've been there a while, and so they got to go. And we stopped doing it. We stopped being taught to do it. And so it's kind of difficult to find all of the answers to these questions, though in this group you can. If anyone, if you'd like to connect with us in a group chat setting that's consistent to you, by the way. So what I mean by that's always available. We have a Telegram group that there's a link for it in the community or in the description of this video. There's like 420 people in this group all over the planet, who are going through similar or identical experiences to you or have. And it's just it's a wealth of information, resource, and knowledge, and just a place to not have to be. You can go and not be alone. You can message somebody at 2 a.m. and say, what the heck is happening? This is what's going on. Anybody else? And because it's a global community, people will often respond. Like, and for them, it's like, 1 p.m. and they're sipping tea, or they're, you know what I mean? And so it's really a useful tool. So if you are interested, please, it's called the Light Bearers Group. 11/11, Mom's birthday. That's awesome. That's really cool. Happy birthday, Mom. No way out. We are feeling the same. I'm sorry. I should have probably clicked it before I started. We are feeling the same thing, it seems. Yeah, exactly. And it's fascinating because I get to talk to people all over the planet, like you all get to do as well in this Telegram group and other places like it, like on Facebook and all kinds of things. And I find that in this way, we're realizing that I'm having something that I've always considered local. Like, it's like cold season. Well, why is Australia affected? And why is everybody in Australia affected? Like there's, if the rules that I was guided to believe regarding germs and viruses and all this kind of stuff, if that was true and correct, how would it be transmittable overseas so quickly, simultaneously, like down to the minute of when symptoms began to occur for us, and so, critical thinking. Eddie, overcharged chakras, finding the harmonizing chakra and activate it. For example, it will help spread it all, root to throat, heart to crown. Thank you, Eddie. Yeah, I agree with this too. What has to do with the lights, the extra lights. It's like a busy, I don't know, subway station or something like that. I don't know, that's not the right word, but there's just a lot. The synapses and stuff like that in our brains that we all know about, the little jumping light charges, electricity charges, the art can jump and bridge and create all this stuff. And this is not meant to be primarily existing within this brain space of our physical form. It's all over our bodies. You feel the electricity all over you, and it's subtle and its presence. However, when it's moving in its the river that it is, rather than having the dams that are kind of built up and stopping the flow and the energy of this way, we will find that at first I found like the sensation of my fingers change. I don't know if you guys notice, I'm always doing this because it's so weird to touch your own thumbs now, because if your body feels different, like it feels different, everything, and it's fascinating. Anyway, yeah, so I'll grab this one, and I do have to get going in a second here. But yeah, the exhaustion. So tired. Yes, Saul Z. I have been so tired. Still is. Anyone else? Yes. And not sleeping. Okay, this was really weird last night. Oh wow, I missed a lot of comments. What's been happening for me is that especially like lately, I'll be in bed and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've been laying here and I've been getting all these cool downloads and stuff for so long. However, I'm not going to sleep. So I'm just going to get up. And so I'll start to get up. I'm like, okay, it's time for body to sit up. And I'll find that my body's asleep. My body's asleep. And I'm like laying there. I'm like, well, that's a really interesting download. I wonder what that means. And I can see how that connects. And just doing this whole thing like you do before you're like, okay, body, be quiet so you can go to sleep. My body is asleep when I'm doing that. It's the most, like, I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyway, very fascinating. So there's that. Then there are the other moments that you're just getting constant downloads. Often I find the downloads start around to where I can't really do much of anything else at that time, around 11 p.m. my time, I don't know if that has to do with a global time or just a local time or what, but I just that's when it really starts to come in really strong. And so that's bedtime, right? You're like, oh, good, 7 o'clock. I can't wait for bedtime. I can't wait for bedtime. Oh, and I need to wait for my daughter to go to sleep before I can sleep. She would technically probably be fine if I did, but she definitely, I can feel her. I know when she's awake and I know when she's asleep. As soon as she falls asleep, all of a sudden I'm like, bing, I'm awake. I'm not tired anymore. And I was feeling her tired. Anyway. So, there's 130 people here between YouTube and Facebook. Thank you all for joining me today. I apologize for not getting to all of your questions. There's just been so much going on right now, and just know that, we're all doing this together. And, some people are in euphoria, and some people are feeling they're going through the dark night of the soul, and it doesn't mean that anyone is ahead of anybody. We've got different things to do. We all have different parts of the different jobs, different missions, whatever you want to call it, and so just address you, just do you. It's great to reach out and connect, though. If someone else's symptoms are not exactly like yours, try not to discount the information coming from them. So anyway, I love you all so much. And I will catch you on the Sology Network. I'm going to type that in real quick. And I'm going to have Stacy is coming as my guest. Probably Elsa Dillon as well. And then, oh my goodness, there we go. These freaking lock buttons are so... I have this really awesome keyboard that my daughter chose that I can't figure out because there's all these extra buttons and stuff. Anyway, so there's it is. Please come find us in an hour, and we're just have a great chat and code breaking and just all kinds of intel coming through. And I will see you again next Sunday here, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm sending you all so much love. Aho blessings.